It's a goal, it's 8 goals.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel and I'm very happy to be here this evening to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving round the world of sports. Top one our menu this evening, Dobia Amusan sets a new record, and of course we have lots of stories for you this evening, especially the English Premier League. Of course, we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
12 years for this, so drink it in. Still goes to New Zealand. What he'd love to be immortality as an athlete, 19.79. It's a goal, it's 8 goals.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back as the Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. In this edition of the show, I have with me Emmanuel Michael. Good evening to you, Michael, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, Kingsley, and good evening to our viewers out there.
All right, let's quickly take a look at what's happening, of course, in athletics. As, of course, we're seeing preparation for the African Games already. And the Athletic Federation of Nigeria first pre-African Games competition ended in Abuja at the weekend with Federation's Technical Director Samuel Onikoko rating the athlete 85% ready for the Continental Fiesta bid for Accra, Ghana. Onikoko, who supervises the technical department of the Federation, noted that another competition holding from February 16 to 17th will push the athletes to 95% sets for the Games. Onikoko said the athletes' performance in the first competition and the anticipated improved performance in the second competition will make selection for the final training camp easy. He commended the athletes and technical officials, the media, as well as the Athletic Federation of Nigerian president and board members who've been available at the venue of the competition. But of course, his first session was that the athletes, of course, are 85% ready for the All-African Games, Michael.
Yes, of course. I think I will not be bothered by the percent ratio of their, preparedness. What matters is that they are able to start camping. They are able to, kickstart some of these games to be able to, keep themselves in shape, for the big one that is coming. Whether they are 85% ready or not, I do not want to toe that line of thought. But one thing that is very paramount is that they are preparing. They are very ready, ready to go to keep themselves in shape. I think for me, it is also very, very important that whenever we are heading for any competition out there, we'll be able to have this kind of, warm-up games, so as for the athlete to be able to keep themselves in shape, while waiting for the big one that is coming up. We're talking about the All-African Game out there in Accra, Ghana. But like he said there, he said 85% ready. Maybe next week or thereabout, they are still going to perfect, some of their game to possibly get to 90 or even 100%, fit already. But then, one thing that we can be able to take home is that they are preparing massively, not minding the level of, their readiness. But one thing is very certain, that they are putting themselves in shape to ensure that, they go out there and make a very strong statement for me.
All right, so keep our fingers crossed and see what, of course, the athletes will go to do ahead of the All-African Games. But away from that, we hear that Japan 2020 Olympic silver medalist Blessing Brododo booked his slots in next month's African Games in Accra, Ghana. Blessing wasted no time dispatching an 68 kg opponent to carry upper of Bayasa in a painful, dominant fashion. Every Burgess of Bayasa and Hannah Ruben, or for the Nigerian Army, also came out victorious in the 72 kg and 76 kg respectively. The male freestyle Soso Tamra of Delta and Ashon Mutua of Plateau caused an upset in the 97 kg and 125 kg. The new American-based sensation Ashon Mutua upset national champion Progress Benson of Rivers to secure the African Games qualification and Olympic qualifiers. Similarly, Harrison Issa of Bayelsa dented the hopes of Jackson Oluwafemi of Ondo, who is a national champion in the 86 kg. Earlier, in the 65 kg, Stephen Simon of Bayelsa defeated former national champion Amos Daniel of Bayelsa, while brave man Perry in the 74 kg secured qualification to the Games in Accra, Ghana. In this 57 kg, Ono Sumeni Simon of Edo joined the winning parade by cementing his slot at the African Games. And the elected president of the Wrestling Federation of Nigeria, Dr. Danny Gali, who spoke to journalists at the end of the national trials in Benegua, applauded the efforts of all the wrestlers for their doggedness and zeal to win. Danny Gali, who showered praises on the technical and officials for hosting the successful event, said that despite what he saw, there is still much room for improvement. He singled out once again adequate preparation for the national athletes going for the African Games. In concluding remarks, Danny Gali expressed the Wrestling Federation deep appreciation to the government of Bayelsa State for the warm reception and hosting of the national trials. There were a couple of young athletes, he said, I saw here, that got me very excited. Every weight class was very well contested for that. It happened to give a lot of joy. This is coming from the wrestling president of the Wrestling Federation. But it's actually a thing of joy. We're seeing, of course, Blessing Brododo
of course, making our way through as well.
Yes, of course, just like you say, it's a thing of joy to know that Blessed Noburu Dudu is making her way out there. Also, very, very important is for the fact that we are starting preparation in earnest. I mean, it is a key, because if you prepare very early while going for any major tournament, I think you stand in a very vantage position to perform, to your strength out there, because, early preparation for me is the key. Unlike in time past, whenever we want to go for, any major tournament out there, we just had to wait until the dying minutes before we start, this kind of fire brigade approach, which for me, over the years, we have been used to it. And there is need for us to change that narrative. We must also get it right. If we intend to go out there and prove a point to the rest of to Africa and to the rest of the world as well, we must also start preparation in earnest, because it helps some of these athletes to keep themselves in shape and also to perfect their game plan as well. So I think that is key for me. Early preparation is key. And again, some of our big names as well, they are starting in a good footing, which also is a positive sign of good things to come.
Let's keep our fingers crossed, on that, and see how, of course, that one pounds out at the end of the day. We hope that the wrestlers will go in there and, of course, make Nigerians proud. Nigerian sprinter Toby Amuson has set a new African women's indoor record in 60 meters, clocking 7.75 seconds at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. This performance in Boston replaces the previous record of 7.77 seconds set in Kazantana, the Atana Indoor Meet in January. However, despite setting the new record, she came second in Boston with American Tia Jones, finishing first in 7.72 seconds, and followed by Bahamas' Devney Charlton with a time of 7.76 seconds. Notably, Amuson had already surpassed the African record in January 27 in her first race of the new athletic season, surpassing the record set by compatriot Gloria Alozie. In January, she set a new African women's 60 meters hurdle indoor record with a time of 7.77 seconds. The performance came at the Astana Indoor Meets in Kazantan. Amuson shattered fellow Nigerian Gloria Alozie's long-standing continental mark of 7.82 seconds set in 1999. All right, Michael, another record, of course, for our very own Toby Amuson.
Massive one for Toby Amuson, and just last week or thereabout, where she also set a new record for herself, at Astana. I think she has followed that up, and also it is a new year, a new season for me, for her. I think it's always good for some of these athletes to start on a good footing. Looking at what Toby Amuson passed through last year, though you want to say that she didn't have the best of game last year, even though she did pretty well at the Diamond League. But then coming to the World Athletic Championship at Budapest, there was an obstacle because of the issue that she had with the athletic integrity unit. That issue had to, weigh her down, because she had to wait till about a week before the official commencement of that very one, before she was given that ban was temporarily lifted, and it actually affected her game, and that is why she didn't, perform to her best, last season. So for me, starting up this year, this new year in a good fashion, I think is a good one. Though the case has not, yet been, squashed out, she still have the case on board, like we heard about 3 weeks ago, where they actually fixed a date for that very case to be, had again. But I believe that she has been able to put all that behind her to focus for this very season. Like I said earlier, it is always very exciting to start on a good footing in a new year, a new season. So I think it's a good one for her. Let's hope that she can also continue in this format, because we've seen a very good competitor in the likes of Tia Jones as well, giving her a very good run for her money. If not for Tia Jones, I think Toby Amuson should have come first in this very one. But then it is not also bad, because she also set a new record for herself. So I think it's a big congratulations to her.
Big congratulations to Toby Amuson. We hope, of course, you continue in this fashion now. In favor of Philly, the Nigerian sprinter has set an African women's indoor record in 300 meters after she dipped 37.99 seconds at the MB Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. She becomes the 10th fastest woman ever over the distance, and she finished behind Gabby Thomas of the United States, who won 37.75 seconds. Because she was the 21 World Under-20 Championship bronze medalist in the 200 meters and the African indoor record holder in the event. She also holds Nigerian record over the distance with a time of 31.96 seconds, making her the first Nigerian woman in history and second African woman to break the 32-second barrier as well. This is one lady that I've tried to kind of course to keep herself in the limelight, Michael.
Yes, of course, and for me, she has been very, very consistent, over the past couple of years, right? And generally, I want to say that it seems the future is looking very, very bright for the Nigerian Athletic Federation this year. Looking at how, some of our key athletes, is starting the year on a good note. For me, I think this is a positive sign. And again, considering the fact that this is an Olympic year, so we need all of our athletes out there to be on their A game. Because when we see most of them on their A game, then it gives us that confidence and belief that we can go out there at the Olympic and be able to, compete favorably well and possibly do the nation proud. So I think generally I want to say it's a big one, a big congratulations, a big plus for the Nigerian Athletic Federation for the achievement of, these lads.
All right, let's quickly move on as we take a look at, basketball at the moment, as the Tigers coach Renan Wakama has released the squad list of 15 players to represent Nigeria at the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament in Belgium. The FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament is scheduled to tip off from February 8 to 11 in Antwerp, with 16 teams competing for 12 places at this summer's 2024 Olympics. Wakama, who led the Tigers to a fourth straight Afro-Basket Championship, defeating Senegal 84-74, and the final recalled Dynamo Care point guard promised Amuka Mara to the squad after she missed out on the Tigers Afro Basket trial due to injury. She also listed two players, Akare Wenkim from Customs and Donano Regina of MFM from the Nigerian Women Basketball League, as well as other players, the likes of Ejiofor Blessing and the likes of Ebon Lauren, Kunayi Opona Palace, as well as Musa Majunatu, Enobosi, and Nicole as well, Adeye Adebola. These are the names, of course, and many others we saw in that particular list. We can't forget Balogun Elizabeth as well, and other players. Michael, I don't know what you make of the players who have been selected by Renan Wakama.
Yes, for me, I think taking a close look at the names and the players that have been invited, though, I would say that it's a good work done by Renan Wakama, because looking at these names, these are, and in their different clubs where they apply their trade, they want to say that they look as though Renan Wakama has been very, very, right on point. She has been putting her nose on the ground to be able to find the best of the hands so that they can be able to do us proud out there. To pick these players from, their different European-based clubs out there means that she has been able to do her homework pretty well. Get to, look at the game time of these players, the statistics of the game played so far, how informed are they in their different clubs are there, and also the inclusion of about 2 or 3, locally based players are there. It tells you that the young lady talking about Renan Wakama, she has been working around the clock to ensure that she picked the best out of what we have, so that they can be able to go out there and make us proud. The only concern that I'm not seeing is about the timing. We just have about 3 or 4 days to go for this very one, and we needed an early preparation, because looking at the team that we are going to be facing out, the likes of United States of America, the likes of Senegal, Belgium, these are powerhouses when you talk about women basketball. So for me, I think we needed that time to be able to allow this player that she has choosing to be able to stay together in camp like 1 week, so that they could get acquainted with the tactics of the coach out there, and possibly get to know the strength of each player and know where to deploy them and how to use some of these players. But then I think looking at the players, like I said earlier, that have been invited or selected by Rena Wakama, it surely tells you that Rena Wakama has been able to, do her homework, pretty well. And I believe that with these crops of players, we can be able to go out there and, do the nation proud.
All right, let's hope that, of course, with this crop of players, they will be able to go out there and do the nation proud. And hope Rena Wakama will show what, of course, she's made up this time around. And let's take a look at boxing now. As the boxing world rejoiced on Saturday when the undisputed world heavyweight title fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk gets a new date within 24 hours. And within 24 hours of it being postponed, Fury and Usyk were originally set to meet in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on February 17. However, this date was then scrapped on Friday after Fury picked up a deep cut in sparring which would keep him out for the ring for several months. Now a new date has been announced with the contest now holding on May 8th, but there is a twist, with this particular one. Michael, I don't know what you make of this one, and we have seen new dates now for this bout between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk due to, of course, the cuts on the man, Tyson Fury at this point in time. What do you make of the shift of dates?
Well, for me, I think it looks as though Tyson Fury is afraid, to take on, Alexander Usyk. If not, for me, I had actually done my homework to actually know the reason why this court, in quotes, against Tyson Fury. Is it that he got an accident, or is it that while training that he got the court, he couldn't be able to fathom out the source of that information or the reason behind that cut on Tyson Fury? But in all, I'm just thinking aloud. Possibly, he wanted to use that tactics to be able to delay the fight, because for me, it looks as though he's afraid of taking a locking horns against Alexander Usyk, considering what happened to him last time out, in the ring against the UFC man, talking about Anthony Ngannou, who actually knocked him down, but then if not for the split decision or the unanimous decision of those judges that actually, favored him, if not, it would have been an embarrassment to, the Gypsy King, talking about Tyson Fury. So I believe it is out of fear that he's trying to run away from this one. But then the most, exciting aspect of it is that less than 24 hours where they actually, called up that very one. Less than 24 hours, they also came up with a new date, So, and this new date came with, a warning per se that if any of these fighters try to pull out, of the new date that have been, refixed, then they will pay heavily, for it financially. So I believe the date this time around is very sacrosanct. We are not going to see, a shift of this very date. But if you ask me, like I say, I'm just thinking that Tyson Fury is probably afraid of Alexander Usyk. But then I can't actually, rule out anything right now, because maybe he's going to do the talking on the ring that very day. But like I said, I'm very, very excited that after, the fight has been called off, it took them less than 24 hours. They didn't have to keep boxing fans all over the world waiting. There are some of these fights that, when they call it off, they had to wait for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they can be able to, come up with a new date. But this one is not, in that direction. So for me, I'm very, very excited that a new date has been, slated. And again, that if any of these two fighters try to pull out from this new date, then they will pay, heavily. It's a financial, attachment that is attached to, the person that tried to bridge the new date. So I think that is the only thing that is very exciting about this. But then boxing fans all over the world, they had to wait a little bit longer to see this one coming through.
All right, so keep our fingers crossed and see how this one, of course, will come through. We hope that this match or this bout doesn't suffer another postponement. But we'll take a break now. When we'll come back from this break, we'll go straight to the beautiful world of football. Please stay with us.
Point to end it all.
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back as the Sport Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, we're looking at the latest revolving round for the sports. Stock football now. The Aqua United have assured the club's supporters that the team will improve in the second stanza of the 2023 and 2024 Nigerian Premier Football League season. The promise keepers failed to live up to the supporters' expectations in the first half of the season. Former handler for the side for Telsha left the post due to poor showing. Aqua United occupied with 31 points and the second half of the 2024 on February 14th. Of course, we're looking forward to see person out in this time around for Aqua United. I hope, of course, the team live up to it because there's been a lot of struggle for Aqua United. And Michael, of course, see here, and I believe he has one or two about this one, but that's we're actually waiting on that after we'll come back from the show.
8 from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, we're talking about Aqua United looking very ready for the second stanza of the season. Michael, I don't know what you make of the preparation of Aqua United ahead of the resumption of the league.
Yes, of course. I think the fans need this kind of assurance from the coach, the players, and the management as well, because just like you and I, we know that Aqua United has not been able to bring that smiles, put that smiles in the faces of their fans at the cost of the fact that the way they started the season, this 2023-2024 NPFL season has been not been in the best fashion. They've actually struggled, both home and away. So at some point, the fans became fed up. They no even longer turn out in their mass to cheer their darling team to victory. So it was a source of worry at some point as well. Their coach left, brought in a new person, and they continue to get a bad result at it. But I think it's a good one to note that the authority, the players, even the coach and management as well, they actually took note of the fact that their fans are not happy, and they have come out with this assurance that they're going to at least do better compared to what we saw in the first stanza out there.
All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed and see how Aqua United will be able to pull through in the second stanza of for the Nigerian Women's Football League. But away from that, Nigerian Women's under 17 team, the Flamingos began their quest for replace the 2024 FIFA under 17 World Cup qualifiers on the emphatic moves with a comprehensive 6 goals in a win over Central African Republic in Douala on Sunday. Bayelsa Queens midfielder Shakira Mushu scored a hat-trick, just as Imo strikers forward Hamon Chidi also scored twice, while defender Priska Machuku scored the other goal for coach Bankudero Luwokere side. Thanks to the emphatic win, Nigeria hold a huge advantage going into the second leg, which will be played at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja on Friday, February 9th. And this year's FIFA Under-17 Men's World Cup Finals will be staged in the Dominican Republic. Since the start of the FIFA Women's Under-17 World Cup in 2008, Nigeria have only failed to qualify once, and the 2018 finals in Uruguay, and the team won their first bronze medal at the championship in 2022 in India after beating Germany. Penalties in the third place match. So Nigeria, of course, at the edge of getting the qualification this time around as well.
Yes, of course. I mean, the return leg is just going to be ceremonial for me. It's always just a dead rubber game. And when it has to do with women football in Africa, Nigeria, from all category, we are always a force to be reckoned with. Having gone away to defeat, these people 6-0, I think the return leg will be taking place here in Nigeria at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. It's just a walkover for me. So I think they have already qualified, because I don't see them coming back to turn the table around. The 6-0 in the first leg at your own backyard. I don't think they can be able to survive the firepower here in Nigeria at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. I think it will be very difficult.
All right, let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the African Cup of Nations. Michael, I don't know what you make of it. It is done. It's now set. Semi-final clash now set. Super Eagles against Bafana Bafana of South Africa on Wednesday. It's really been an impressive tournament so far, even for both sides. The Bafana, they've shown strength and tenacity, taking out big names like the likes of Morocco and Cape Verde. Super Eagles as well. They've also done, well in their own side. They've taken big names, Cameroon, Angola, Cote d'Ivoire, down to at this particular stage of the competition. We're able to have a draw against Equatorial Guinea. We actually show strength as well in this competition. But I don't know what you make of this semi-final clash. The way the Bafana they played, they look very, very formidable. Should Nigerians be worried ahead of this particular semi-final clash?
Yes, if you ask me, they should be worried. It's not, it's not going to be on a platter of gold. Even if Nigeria have, a little bit advantage because of the fact that most of our players, they are big names and they apply their trade out there in Europe. They have this experience going for them. And if you take a look at our record against the Bafana, talking about the South African team, over the years we always have the upper hand, head to head. We have upper hand against the South African team. But then I think looking at the crops of players that the South African team have this time around, they want to write their own history as well. So, and that makes it very difficult. And again, 99.9% of their players understand the terrain. Why? Because they ply their trade here in Africa, and most especially out there in South African League. And the majority of the players ply their trade for one club out there, talking about Mamelodi Sundowns. So you expect that unity, you expect that understanding, that chemistry will be there among the players, because they play week in, week out. They understand themselves, pretty well. 8 of those players have won about 6, major trophy for themselves out there in the South African League. So, which makes it very, very, difficult for the Super Eagles, who just, had to, aggregate themselves, bring in players from different European, football club out there and gather them to be able to come for this very one. So these are some of the things that is going to make it very, very difficult. And again, I could remember the last time that South Africa got to this stage in the African Cup of Nations is about 24 years ago. And it was these same Super Eagles that actually, cut short their journey, in 2000. I could still remember that quick fire goal from the boot of Tijani Babangida that actually nailed their coffin. And for me, they will be coming with that, vengeance as well. And, Nigeria, on the other hand, will be looking at it from different perspectives. Again, yesterday, in the entertainment world, we heard that, the Grammy Award, there is this issue that has been going on between Nigerian piano and piano, this piano, that they say that the piano is South African, Amapiano is South African beat as well. But it looks as though Nigeria is taking the shine off them. And coincidentally, just yesterday, they had the Grammy Award. About 3 Nigerians were nominated, the likes of Davido, Burna Boy, and the rest of Asake, and the rest of them. But then, unfortunately, it was a South African lady that won that very one. So it is 1-0 in favor of South Africa yet. And we heard as well, that even the beat that actually won the South African award was, a famous Fela song, which I don't want to go into that because we are not into entertainment. But then, back to the conversation on ground, I think that is going to be a very difficult one for Super Eagles. If they actually want to rely on old record, I think that will not work for them because, like I said, this is a new set of players, a new generation, a new coach, a new mentality that is coming up against a certain South African team as well. Very young, very squad, energetic, talented. They also know how to keep possession of the ball, and again, their keeper is very good. This is the first time in the history of the African Cup of Nations that we've seen a keeper saving, about 4 penalties in a game, which is very, very rare. Not even in Europe as well. So, with all of these indices, you agree with me that it's not going to be business as usual for the Super Eagles. We just need to go out there and get the job done and dusted on the pitch of play. But I think the only advantage, like I said, that the Super Eagles have heading into this one is that, experience-wise, we have the experience. Exposure-wise, our players have the exposure. And again, the unity that is existing among the players, on and off the pitch. There is unity of purpose among the players of the Super Eagles. That is why you say in the pitch of play, when one man loses possession, you see the next man trying to cover up that space for the person. So they are fighting like it's a team for themselves, and that is the reason why we've gotten to this far. But then I tell you, it's not going to be an easy one come Wednesday.
All right, let's actually take a look at the Premier League. As it stands, as Arsenal, of course, looking at their bid for a first Premier League title in 20 years by beating leaders Liverpool 3-1 at the Emirates Stadium on Sunday. Michael, 3-1 in that encounter. What do you make of that performance from Arsenal?
It was a masterclass display from the Gunners because for me, Liverpool haven't dismantled Chelsea over the week, last week rather, midweek, 4-1. So you expect them to be basking under the euphoria of that victory against Chelsea, coming to that one against Arsenal. But then, it wasn't to be, as Arsenal had a better, game plan. They came into the game, with more determined, nature to win that very one. And of course, they did it in a grand slide, 3-1 against a Liverpool side that always run riot against any team out there. It wasn't a fluke. Arsenal truly dominated position from all fronts. They had to, go home with all 3 points. I think for me, it's a big, boost for Arsenal. And a display of a title, credential so far. You know what happened to them last season, where they actually, bottled it at the nick of time. They could not, lift the trophy last time, but they were able to build on the squad as well, inject 1 or 2 new players, the likes of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Jurgen Timber. Though we say that injury have not allowed Timber to be part and parcel of the squad so far, but then Arsenal is churning the result. They have actually shown that this season they are forced to be reckoned with, and they can contend. They are in a poor position, to lay their hand on the title. But then there is another giant or Goliath that is standing, in their way. Talking about Manchester City, who also have an advantage right now, courtesy of that Arsenal win against Liverpool yesterday. Manchester City have 2 outstanding games right now, and if Manchester City win those 2 outstanding games, it automatically means that they are going to, top the league table. And whenever Manchester City, goes top of the league at this particular point, every January or February, whenever Manchester City assume the first spot in the EPL, just know that it is done and dusted. But then I think Arsenal is showing that maturity this year. They have shown that indeed they are ready to pursue the title this season.
And of course, another result we saw Bournemouth. They played 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest. Chelsea lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Michael, what's really happening at the Chelsea Football Club? The result, of course, of recent has been very, very poor.
Has been very, very poor. Chelsea has been consistently inconsistent this season. That is the only word I would say. Having lost to Liverpool last week, 4-1, one expected them to, at most up their game against Wolves, but then it wasn't to be. Even when they took the lead people thought that at least it's going to be a win-win situation for Chelsea, but then I think lack of concentration and the ability to be very clinical in front of the goal also is their problem, because if you take a look at the Chelsea side, they play, you know, more of the enticing football. They play, you know, possessive kind of football, which we don't know Chelsea of in the past, but then the end result seems to be the problem. If you take a look at statistics, statistics have shown that this season alone, Chelsea among the big team that have created the most chances in the Premier League this season, but yet they have failed to convert their chances, and that is why they find themselves in the 11th and 10th position, exchanging between 10 and 11. Whether they win or they lose, it's either they maintain 10 or 11 position. So I think it's a big problem for Chelsea, and Mauricio Pochettino just need to find a way to be able to start getting the result. After playing the beautiful football, what is the end product? It should be the 3 points. If you don't get the 3 points, I tell you, your beautiful football is just nonsense. And for me, it's a big problem. Even the wife of Thiago Silva, you know, came out on X immediately after that loss to voice her displeasure as well. She said that it is time to make a change, and the delay may be too dangerous. What is she referring? She was referring to the management to sack Mauricio Pochettino, because we understand that Thiago Silva will be leaving at the end of this season. So I think that is the only person she was referring to, and that is to tell you how you know, devastating the situation is out there in Stamford Bridge. But then one will say that Chelsea is on a rebuilding process. They are on a transition, but then we know Chelsea fans, they don't have this patience. They don't have this luxury of time to, you know, give a manager 3-4 years to plan and be able to. So no. But for me, I think it would be better for them if they can actually keep Mauricio Pochettino, give him, you know, that long time, trust on the process, you know, and allow him build.
Manchester United, they beat West Ham United by 3 goals to 0. Impressive display from Manchester United yesterday.
Yes, impressive display for them. It looks as though they are beginning to find back their rhythm, their mojo. You know, I don't know whether it's a takeover of their new owner, talking about Jamie Ratcliffe, who took about 25% you know, share. Maybe they want to impress the new owner. Let's see if they can be able to hold on this. I know they are pursuing the top 4, because mathematically, the title chase, I do not think that they have what it takes to go for the title this season. They will just struggle and see if they can be able to make it into the top 4.
Manchester United on a very, very impressive mode as it stands. And Everton played 2-0 draw against Tottenham Hotspur. Brighton and Nova Albion, they beat Crystal Palace 4-1. Newcastle United played 4 draw against Luton Town. Newcastle, they have really dropped, you know, in terms of form. Imagine struggling against Luton Town. Honestly,
and Newcastle and Tottenham this season, the way they started the season like a house on fire. You know, but after 10, 11 games, they began to go down the ladder. I think for me, it's a very disappointing one for Eddie Howe and his men out there. And for Luton Town, they seem to be, you know, pulling the strings, you know, this time around. And having scored 4 goals, you know, in the midweek, also coming to score another 4 goals. I think this new Luton Town, we need to give them credit as well.
Aston Villa, of course, they bashed Sheffield United 5-0 in that particular encounter. We saw the effects of Unai Emery. And talking about Unai Emery, a few weeks ago, everyone was like, are they title contenders? And, but it seems as if, of course, the jungle is beginning to get, you know, matured, you know, at this point in time. Do you see them, you know, close to maybe top 4?
Yes, of course, they are still in the title chase as well. You know, mathematically, they are still in the title chase. Anything can happen. This is a game of football, and this is the EPL. You know, a league where you can't actually predict until the final day of the league. So they are still very much in the title contention.
Of course, Unai Emery getting his side ready. But in the Spanish La Liga, we saw Villarreal played goalless against Cadiz. Osasuna lost to Celta Vigo by 3-0. Everything played 1-0 draw against Getafe. Real Madrid played 1-0 draw against Atletico Madrid. Valencia beat Almeria by 2-1. Granada played 1-0 draw against Las Palmas. Alaves lost to Barcelona by 3-1. Girona played goalless against Real Sociedad. Atletico Bilbao, of course, they beat Real Mallorca by 4-0. But at this point, we're going to wrap on the show. Michael is living an impressive time this evening.
It's always a pleasure doing this with you.
We'll be back tomorrow by 9 a.m. for Sports Talk. Do what to join us. It promises to be another exciting time on Atlantic Television Network. Thanks for watching.